Hello all, and welcome to the Power to the Pinky podcast with Taylor Marbury. This is episode number 7, and I'm really excited because today I've had a great question. So Drew from Instagram has reached out. Here's what he asked me. Do you remember your first guitar, and what was it like? All right, well, of course, yes, I very much remember my first guitar, and in fact, I'm holding it in my hands right here. Now, this guitar, we're going to tell the whole backstory of this thing. We're going to play a little bit and we'll talk some more about that. But this guitar I got for $20 at a pawn shop, if you can believe it, of all places. I had some allowance money. I asked my mom if she would drive me over to the pawn shop and just see. And this was the only guitar they actually had with all 6 strings on it. And you know, when you're a child, you're like, I don't know how to restring a guitar. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I was just so excited at the thought of, okay, this guitar is ready to go. And as you can tell, it's an electric guitar, which may have been one of the best decisions I made as far as purchasing my first guitar, as it was just so much easier to play. I learned bar chords on this thing. I mean, it was just amazing. So the electronics on it actually went out and there was a different pickup in it, but my friend Pal actually fixed this up for me maybe about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And now, okay, we're gonna go ahead and turn the volume on this thing. So it actually has one pickup, as you can tell on here, okay? We've got a nice floating bridge going on, and I have a volume knob and a tone knob. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my volume knob all the way up. I'll turn my tone down just so you guys can hear that, but okay? So we kind of have a warmer sound. I'm gonna turn the tone knob up. Let's see what that sounds like. Check this out. Okay, so definitely we have some sound coming from that. She also fixed up quite a few things. As you can tell, the nut has kind of worn away a little bit here. The frets, it probably needs a new fret job if I'm being completely honest with you guys. And there was some intonation issues as I played up the neck. I remember that. And for the most part, so you can kind of it still has that kind of going on with it. But I love this guitar. I think it plays super well. Now, here's the weird thing about this guitar. If you can look, there was no brand name on this thing when I bought it. Now, I believe it is a Tesco. That's kind of what I've heard. Word on the street is, and I'll kind of give you guys a closer view for those of you watching the video podcast of this gorgeous guitar. I mean, look at that. Look at that pick, you know what I mean? I'm like, it is just, it's pretty beautiful, right? The pick guard's gorgeous. That's what I was gonna comment on earlier. I was like, look at that. So I love the way it looks. And I just really like the way that it played. Now, a lot of times when my students' parents are asking me, like, what should I get them guitar-wise, should I start on electric, acoustic, classical? I am a bit biased towards an electric guitar to start because it is just so much easier, right? You can plop down like I mentioned. So I remember trying to learn like Smells Like Teen Spirit, even power chords. You know, even power chords, it was easier. Just everything felt easier. And I don't have big hands, okay? Again, I know we talk about power to the pinky, hence the reason for this podcast, but that's because my hands aren't that big and I need to use my pinky to reach a lot of things that some people may be able to do with just their index and their ring finger. So that's the whole point of the name, right? Power to the pinky. So I love this guitar because it's small. Even the body, I mean, look how thin we're talking. This thing is thinner than a strap. And it's super lightweight too. I think this thing maybe weighs 5 pounds. It doesn't feel like it even weighs that much. So I bought this guitar with the 20 bucks that I had as allowance money. It came with like a little amp. That amp ended up dying a few years ago. I ended up getting rid of it just because I mean, again, we're talking about used gear from a pawn shop. I was just happy it could make a sound. But the funniest thing about this guitar was I was so scared to pop a string that I just would not even tune it. So I remember trying to play like Happy Birthday. And I would be doing, and it would just sound like, again, it was not even slightly out of tune. Like, you know, when it's a little flat, a little sharp, you can kind of get away with it here and there. No, this thing was horribly out of tune, where it sounded like I was playing an entirely different song. So that's one of my fondest memories of this guitar. But I mean, I used it for at least a couple of years before I upgraded or did anything different. So yeah, it's a Tesco. I really love it. I'm gonna keep it forever. I always say it's the best $20 I've ever spent, and truly and utterly, I mean that. I mean, this guitar, eventually I may even get it fixed up again, fix those intonation issues, and use it. I've always thought if I ever made it as a guitarist, like I think this might end up actually being my go-to guitar. Maybe put another pickup in it too, just, I don't know. So yeah, that is my first guitar, Drew. I mean, check it out, we can oogle it. We love oogling guitars. Here's kind of the full body view of it so you guys can see it on here. But yeah, this weird off-brand Tesco, and even on the back, see, we can swap out the neck here, but there's no brand name on that little plate there or anything like that. It's in pretty good shape though. I still love it, and it is indeed the best $20 I've ever spent. So hope that's kind of some cool insight on my very first guitar and why I do kind of think that electric guitars are not a bad way to start out your guitar venture. And again, nothing wrong with acoustic. It's just some of my students run acoustic, and sometimes it's too big. Obviously, there's 3/4 size. But the cool thing about electric is you can get a full size if you wanted to and grow into that, and it's a little bit easier just because it's easier to navigate. That sort of thing. But yeah. All right, Drew, I hope that answers your question. Thanks for asking about I've never named this one either. It should be named something. We will report back on that soon. But all right, you guys, kind of a quick Power to the Pinky podcast for this one. But do you guys have your pictures of your first guitar? Do you still own your first guitar? I think that's my question to you all about our guitars. And now I have 17. So 1 to 17, yeah, it grew exponentially, as you can tell. But Power to the Pinky, you all. Thank you guys so much for jamming out and listening to me. Power to the Pinky with Taylor Marbury.